Welcome back, everyone. So here we are, last video for the year. Happy New Year to everybody. I didn't want to end the year with that bug report kind of thing that I put together. Hopefully that helps a lot of people with the workaround. So today we're going to kind of do a follow-on to the bounty hunter. I'm going to go a little bit further in depth with this and more of a guide. And so the goal around this is to work around Terminus, which is Rune Station, which is near Terminus. And you can see you can get access to 40k and 58k missions. I would do the tracking VLRT. We'll take a look at that here in a minute and the low cost fee that's needed for that. I would do that first before coming out to Pyro to give this a try, although they might be available without doing that. That being said, the basis of this is around this particular clip that I've got here, which is 10 minutes long. And so the goal of this is to make as much money as possible by potentially taking multiple missions, or at least taking one of the missions. But the fun here is that if you take the mission with the location of maintenance area, it's not around checkmate as listed in the actual description. They all spawn at Rune Station here, and that's why Rune Station is constantly covered with a bunch of different enemy ships, because you can just quickly complete the mission, then you take the next mission, and from there you can just do it rinse and repeat. And sometimes you have to wait for the missions to reappear, but as long as, again, the location is the maintenance area, you can sometimes stack them, sometimes you can't. In this case, you can see I didn't stack it, but in other instances I was able to stack it. So it kind of just depends on the health of the server and how many people are there. I would recommend using the Asia server. I appreciate I think it was like Super Tank that made that comment in my other video. I did pen it, so I appreciate him for pointing that out. Usually wouldn't want to use necessarily the Asian server because there's usually far away for a lot of people, but in this instance, because of the lag, you actually could take advantage of that a bit, and it does help this quite a bit. I was able to make 616,000 doing this in 10 minutes, so let's just kind of show this. I don't want to say that's the average, but we'll get into it a little bit here. So initially, if you want to make available these higher level missions, originally you can only do 40k or 58k in Pyro. You want to do more rep grinding. So if you hit F1, you can go to your MOBA, you can go to your rep section, and you go to Bounty Hunters Guild, you can see where you're at currently with the rep. And you're going to start at 0 or applicant. And when you do that, you go to Bounty Hunter, you're going to see only the fee at the bottom down here, 500, the training, tracker training permit. That's going to be what's required in order to unlock the lowest, which is VLRT, or very low risk target, or CS1 if you're in Area 18. These are going to be the lowest of the low on the bounty hunter, so they're also going to be easy ships, like stuff like Aura MRs and stuff like that. So if you have a starter ship, you can actually take these missions and complete them. And if I would work my way up to LRT if you can, that's going to help you out when you go to Pyro, because again, the more bars you can fill out and the higher you can get up in the food chain of the actual rep here in Stanton, the more you can actually get in missions and higher rewards you can actually get if you're in Pyro. The challenge with the missions in Pyro is you technically get mission rewards for it, but you're only getting VLRT level of rewards. So you're only going to be able to grind out. If you want to grind out just VLRT out there, you probably could, but you get very little rep when you're out there in Pyro. I don't know if that's a bug or it's intended, but you're really going to want to grind the rep in Stanton and then go to Pyro to actually reap the rewards of getting higher missions. You can see here, as you level up, now I've done a lot of level up. That's why you have so many different tracking certificates that I have available to me. But as you complete the next tier, you're going to have the next certificate. So after the 500, you'll pay the 1,000 to unlock that level, so forth and so on. You'll get the 2.5k, and then you'll have the 5k, the 10k, so forth and so on. As you can work your way up into these different bars, as you complete the bar, you'll have the next certificate made available to you. Now, if you go to another planet like me, obviously I haven't worked in Microtech. That's why I still see these tracking certificates. But you do have to complete the certificate at each of the different areas. But you just get all the certificates made available to you for each tier that you've already completed. Here we are at Orison. Orison, Microtech, and Urston, I believe, are all the same kind of look and feel. They all use the old system, which is VLRT, or very low risk threat, as the lowest tier. Then you move on to LRT, which is low risk threat. You have then MRT, which is medium risk threat. HRT, which is high risk threat. VHRT, which is a very high risk threat. And you have ERT, which is extreme risk threat, which I have not unlocked yet, but I'm about halfway through. You can also see the amount of money you can make in Stanton if you want to just stay in Stanton. So it's decent money, like 17k is good. But again, if you compare that 17k to what you can make in Pyro, which is 40k or 58k for those two missions that are possible, and they spawn only in one known location, you can see how you can make much more money on the Pyro side if you decide to grind out there. But there's a little risk there. I mean, obviously other people could start killing you, things of that nature. But for now, most people are just kind of zoning in and plowing through these rewards missions in order to actually just get them done and get them squared away. So just, if you want to rep grind these as much as you want, and we'll talk about here in a minute how much you can potentially unlock as you work your tiers up. I'm having to guesstimate these because on the Pyro side, they don't actually say, hey, they all show up as VLRT. So they all show up as the lowest grade. They don't actually show the other grades. So I have to make assumptions here. Now with the MRT as well, don't take the MRTs that you're showing here because those are ground-based missions. All right, let's move on to Area 18. So at our Corp or Area 18, which is where we are now, they use the CS scores or crime stat scores instead of the low risk or the different risk threats. So it looks a little bit different, but it's the same idea. So you're going to start at CS1, which is equivalent to VLRT. Then you'll move up to crime stat 2, CS3, CS4, CS5, and ultimately CS6. You can see here, CS1 is just the lowest level, but you see it's all still 17K. So they still are the same amount of money. It's the same kind of rep and everything like that. It just looks different because they called it CS or crime score instead of the actual threat level like they have done, or the risk threat they've done with the other previous time periods. It's just some change they've done in 4.0. Now next, we'll take a look at the rest of the 10-minute clip. Now this is condensed down to 4 times speed, so just to speed it up a bit here, but this is just again to prove how much money you can actually potentially make here. I started at 11, almost a little under 11.5 million, and I ended at 12 million in this 10-minute clip. Again, at the very beginning, I started out this clip. We can see I'm a little over 12.5 now, but when I started out the clip, I was at 11.4. So you can make quite a bit of money here. Again, I don't want to assume that's the average you're going to make, but you're going to make millions per hour. You can make millions per hour. You can make a couple millions per hour, but usually make about $1 million per hour. It just depends on, again, how many people are taking these missions, how the servers are doing, how much rep you've grinded out. The more rep you grind out, the more missions you have made available to you. So again, these are the missions that I think, the tiers, I think this is how they work out. You have the VLRT, which appears to include both the 40K and the 58K. It is possible that those don't actually require the VLRT, but I would do that VLRT that I showed before, the 500 cost fee. I would do that first before coming out here, just to make sure you get access to it when you get out here. That being said, I believe the 86K is at the next tier up, which is LRT or CS2. I then believe that the 111K is the MRT or CS3 equivalent. There's a 120K option, which I think is the AHRT or the CS4. And there's a 138K option that I believe is the DHRT or the CS5. That's the highest I've seen. I believe other people have had access to a 166K, which is the ERT or CS6 level. This is all kind of unverified. And I expect this to go away. And I'll probably take the video down once it goes away. I expect this to go away. They'll probably patch it out once everybody comes back from vacation time. So I don't think it's really an exploit. It's just an easy way to make money, and they have left the game in this state. So I just see it as it's a boo-boo or just an easier way to kind of go about things. But yeah, for now, if you want to take advantage of it, you can, or use it. I've had to grind out the rep for it, so it's been worthwhile on my end. But anyways, that's about it. I just wanted to show everybody kind of how to do this, and I appreciate y'all checking out the video. Again, Happy New Year's, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.